I would like to start.
Solo una cosa, ¿queréis que traduzcamos en simultáneo o me siento al lado de Pilar y
No,
hay,
recomienden algo, ¿no?
hay aquí más gente en la sala que tiene problemas con el inglés
Hombre,
o
pues
gente
la mayoría, ¿no? Creo.
sí,
Recomienden hablar.
lo que prefiráis, ¿eh? A mí me da igual, es un poco más incómodo quizá para Mary, ¿no? El tener que estar parando, pero
Pero es que entonces no nos enteramos, ¿no? Si no nos tomamos todas así
bueno.
cerca, vamos a tomar verde.
Are they
Vamos,
happy?
we will try to translate it simultaneously,
Okay,
and
okay.
then bueno, ha preferido venir con un enfoque amplio sobre este tema, las experiencias en el Reino Unido y sobre todo la suya propia de la didáctica de la música en aula.
Okay, just it is my personal and professional perspective. I work in University of Reading, as you know, and I have been there since 2006, so almost 9 years. I work in initial teacher education. We have a BA degree for music specialism in education, which is quite unique because music education in England in primary school is not very popular, not very strong. So we have a very important course.
Su especialidad, que sobre todo desde la que va a partir, es en educación infantil, diríamos aquí, Initial Education, lo cual, y tienen un grado de especialización musical para educación de música, y es bastante particular o especial porque en Reino Unido no es muy no se fomenta mucho la educación musical en este periodo, ¿no?
We also have secondary music, but and other courses. I am from Ireland, which makes me very unusual because I am working in England, but I have an Irish perspective. Much of my early work in research has been on music in the classroom from the teacher's perspective, so how the primary teacher constructs music as a subject. So this, I think, is really interesting from today. We have formal and informal, traditional and classical, all sorts of migrations or changes, which I think has been very strong in Ireland, but not so strong in England. So for me, that's very interesting.
Como irlandesa, es de nacionalidad irlandesa, aporta su experiencia en investigación y la tradición en Irlanda, que es mucho más rica o compleja en esta serie de en dedicarse al tema de la educación infantil en las primeras etapas, ¿no? Mucho más importante en Irlanda que en Inglaterra.
And also historically, the travel from England to Ireland has been quite strong, and I have researched and published in this area with 19th century music education. So somebody was talking about the travel from Spain to Latin America, that it is actually two-way. So I think this is also another possibility of research interest. But I can talk about these later, but they are published in English, so I can show you them if you're interested.
Ella ha investigado y ha publicado sobre la educación musical en el siglo XIX. Entonces, le gusta mucho también ver aquí las perspectivas que abordamos con estos intercambios entre España y Latinoamérica, porque ella en cierto sentido lo siente bueno, afines a esta perspectiva Inglaterra-Irlanda, ¿no? En este tipo de intercambios.
But today I wanted to talk about traditional music in the education context and how it is understood in England. So we look at the repertoire, you know, the songs, the music, but also the context of performance. And actually, at the moment, it's this that's probably very, very common in England. And again, a link could be made. And also, obviously, heritage and preservation are there. And then I wanted to talk about the provision for traditional music in education. In the formal institutional setting, well, the school, the state schools mainly, and then the informal, non-formal settings. These are categories which are very much in fashion at the moment. I don't know, is it the same here? The formal and the informal, yeah. So traditional music, just again to begin, the distinction between the traditional music of England and traditional music in England, also because of so many cultures, it is very difficult to talk about the traditional music of England. There is a sensitivity, I find, because it's a close relation to nationalism and exclusive, which England is very sensitive about. So it's all about inclusion and diversity. Maybe the same with you, but maybe not. But particularly so in England, in contemporary England. So we have folk music and song. There was recently an attempt to make a collection of folk music for children, for schools, which would be representative of Britain. And it was very controversial. So that nothing has happened because they couldn't agree. There was no agreement on what should go into the collection. So it's quite a sensitive issue, actually.
Hablando de la música tradicional, en Inglaterra hay que distinguir, claro, la música tradicional inglesa o de Inglaterra y la música tradicional en Inglaterra, que en este sentido pues tienen unas controversias, de hecho, que llegan a paralizar proyectos en este caso, de intentar construir, ¿no?, un repertorio, un catálogo de música británica, porque bueno, escoceses, irlandeses, galeses, pues todos tienen algo que decir aquí, y entonces parece que ha habido problemas, de hecho, para llevar a cabo esta recopilación, ¿no? No se ha podido de momento.
And just in that, very recently, the BBC put together a group of 10 pieces. Are you familiar with this? 10 instrumental pieces that everybody should know in England. But they're mainly classical music. And there was no problem, and everybody loves them. And they're for primary school. Very interesting resource. But my point really is that there was no problem whatsoever with that legacy. But the traditional music somehow is, it doesn't have a place. This is my perspective. Yeah.
Se ha llegado a un acuerdo, pues en a veces que se hacen estos rankings, ¿no?, y se ha preguntado, o se ha llegado a un acuerdo de cuáles son las 10 músicas clásicas que debería conocer todo niño en Inglaterra, y no ha habido ningún problema en decir son estas. Pero con la traditional music no pasa esto, porque dice Mary que realmente la traditional music no tiene un lugar, ¿no? No tiene un lugar en la escuela, no tiene un lugar en el currículum, como hemos estado viendo, ¿no?
And of course, the tradition of music in England, it has so many, composers. This is the heritage. I just wanted to put that there. And post-colonial traditional music, the customs of performance. It reflects life, and also now, at the moment, the centenary of the war, there is a reconstruction of life through poetry, music, and other rituals. It's really interesting, this renaissance, or looking back to the World War One poets. Has that happened here? No, because but it's very common at the moment in England.
Here, Civil War, also.
Yeah.
We were not in that war.
No. But England is full of it at the moment.
Bueno, digamos que el tipo de proyectos, de actividades, ahora que se hacen en Reino Unido, pues tienen que ver con, bueno, es un poco recrear y rescatar y reconstruir el pasado, muy relacionado con la Primera Guerra Mundial. Entonces buscan un poco las baladas, los poetas, ¿no? Relacionados estos, y también pues la música tradicional que, como dice, refleja la vida cotidiana, las costumbres y demás.
William Bill, Thomas Sandys, la música histórica, también recuperar esa parte, ¿no?
Estos son los compositores de música tradicional, no, tradicional. Aunque ponga Händel, quizá es otro.
Okay, but in the society there is a group. I don't know whether you are aware of it. It's the English Folk Dance and Song Society, and they have a huge collection of traditional folk music, and there is money, a lot of money given to them to preserve and collect music and dance and song, and it's freely available, so it's there for everybody, not just for education but for everyone, and it's worth looking at. You know, it's quite a big project at the moment.
Tenemos un grupo que es la sociedad o la asociación o sociedad de la música tradicional inglesa y la danza, y han tenido buena financiación para recopilar y subir a internet y poner a disposición de todo el mundo, no solo de profesores, todo este esfuerzo. Pues fijaos, 80.000 páginas de músicas, de canciones tradicionales, a los que dice Mary que merece mucha la pena bueno, meterse y navegar un poco por ellas, ¿no?
Digital archive. So there are my introductory slides, just for the general feel. My next point is there provision for music, traditional music in education? And I should say that in England there is one programme of study from age 5 to 14. Everybody does music. So it's in the curriculum for everybody from age 5 to 14. And it is in 4 content areas: performing, composing, appraising, which is listening and appraising, and then applying knowledge and understanding. And these have shaped the way teachers work in classrooms, and these have shaped resources in classrooms. It aims to be inclusive, but because of the tradition of classical instrumental performance and some choral singing, there is very little migration or movement from classical traditions to non-classical traditions. And we'll talk about this again, but this is a big concern for this group and our conversations, but also for teachers.
En cuanto a, digamos, si existe esta posibilidad, ¿no?, de estudiar música en Reino Unido, tenemos que es obligatorio de los 5 a los 14, pues hay una serie de estudios divididos en 4 áreas de contenido, una de tocar instrumentos, competencias de composición, competencias de apreciación de la música, y de aplicar, digamos, el conocimiento y el entendimiento de la música, ¿no? Otras áreas. Hay muy poca, no se tiene muy en cuenta en estas áreas la música no clásica, o sea, está sobre todo enfocado y dirigido a la música clásica.
So just wanted to tell you that recently, in 2013, the national curriculum for music became very, very, very small. And it is just like this, to perform across a range of historical periods, genres, styles and traditions, including the works of the great composers and musicians. So that is what the teacher can work with, nothing else. So in a way it is easy because there are no rules, but it is very, 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 very wide and almost useless. Learn to sing, and I've mentioned to have the opportunity to learn a musical instrument, so it's performance-based, very much so. And also understand and explore how music is created, produced and communicated. So there's the formal, structural element still, but it is it has become very, very small, reduced from the previous version, which came out in 1992, which is almost 20 years ago. Okay, so just put these so that you can see what they talk about. Key Stage 1, which is age 5 to 9. Key Stage 2, oral memory, which is age 9 to 11. And Key Stage 3, oh yeah, sorry, these are, so you can you see that last one? The high quality live and recorded music drawn from different traditions and from great composers and musicians. So there is nothing inherently English about this. So for example, in Ireland, I know the curriculum says, traditional Irish music, traditional Irish instruments, but there's nothing like that in this curriculum, which is interesting. And finally, in Key Stage 3, which is age 11 to 14, or secondary school, again, styles, genres and traditions. Oops, I'll just give you that.
Bueno, ha pasado así un poco rápido las etapas de 5 a 9, de 9 a 11, de 11 a 14. Y en estas etapas, sobre todo ella lo que quería subrayar, enfatizar es que si, por ejemplo, en el currículum en Irlanda sí que se hace una mención a las Irish, a la música tradicional irlandesa, aquí lo dejan siempre en el ancho, en el amplio entendimiento de grandes compositores y músicos, pero no hacen ninguna mención a que deban ser músicos británicos o música tradicional británica, inglesa. Entonces, se encuentran con, digamos, con una gran libertad los profesores, ¿no?, a la hora de interpretar pero no tienen ninguna directriz que diga, oye, la música tradicional, ¿no?, de local, regional, debería estar en el currículum.
And one of the difficulties recently, this is more on Key Stage 3 or secondary school the last of the formal education. So it's all pretty generic. So one of the problems recently that happened was that when students finish Key Stage 3, they don't want to do music because it isn't of interest to them. So the government put together a music manifesto to say that every child should have an opportunity to learn a musical instrument. Every child. So that was quite a big promise. They wanted everybody to take part. And they didn't specify that it is traditional music, heritage music, classical music. They just wanted everybody to learn or to take part in music, which was, quite a challenge. And this was what they said: every child should have an opportunity to learn a musical instrument. And this led to two major initiatives introduced at primary level. The first was called Sing Up, and the second was called Wider Opportunities. Now, the Sing Up was a national singing programme for primary schools, and every school would be a singing school. And it was to ensure that primary school-age children would experience high-quality singing both within and outside of their curriculum on a daily basis. And they wanted to have every school having a teacher committed to facilitating high-quality singing and vocal work for the whole school. So it was a huge project, and lots of resources, website, ambassadors, teachers going in every area to teach the teachers, huge. And the repertoire was taken from all genres, folk songs, English folk songs, songs from around the world. It didn't matter. The priority was to sing. And it lasted for quite a while, and then they took the money away. It was funded until 2011, like huge resource, a lot of money. And then after 2011, the schools had to register, pay. And of course, then only the schools who were interested continued. So in a way, it was good for 4 years, and now it is not so strong because of the money, because the head teacher has to decide, yes, we're going to put our money into this.
Bueno, yendo un poquito atrás, parece que los niños en Reino Unido, cuando acababan estas etapas que hemos dicho antes, no salían tocando un instrumento o interesados por la música como parecía que era el objetivo del programa. Entonces hicieron un manifiesto en el 2005-2006 para que todos realmente, lo que importaba en el Reino Unido es que todo el mundo toque un instrumento o aprenda a cantar de una manera excelente o de calidad, ¿no? Entonces se han destinado un montón de dinero y de recursos entre el 2007 y el 2011 precisamente para lograr estos objetivos, el programa Sing Up, ¿no? Que todos los niños canten, que haya profesores de canto que enseñen a otros profesores a cómo implementar un poquito estas estrategias con esos objetivos ambiciosos de que todos los niños en los colegios sepan cantar estupendamente, ¿no? Lo que pasa que fue del 2007 al 2011 financiado, y a partir del 2012 un poco cortaron el grifo de la financiación y un poco tenían que garantizar esta financiación las propias escuelas, ¿no?
Okay, and then the repertoire, yes, from a multitude of sources. My point here is that the music is not so important. The music is not so important. The origin of the music. What is important is that they sing, so it's performance driven. And I think that's interesting.
No se ha hecho ningún, bueno, no importa de dónde venga la música, puede ser música tradicional, música folk, puede ser música inglesa o puede ser de otras naciones, eso da igual, no se ha hecho ningún énfasis en esto, sino lo importante es que se cante bien, o en el caso del instrumento que se toque bien.
And the second initiative was the Wider Opportunities. And this was a scheme, a whole class, specialist instrumental teaching in primary school. Teachers were drawn from the music services. In England, there is a peripatetic, does that translate?
It's
Yeah.
understandable.
It's instrumental teachers who are employed by the local authority to go to schools and provide music lessons. And so for Wider Opportunities, this was a source of employment for these teachers. They went to the primary schools. They were largely classically trained. So of course they would do repertoire that's classical trained. And the instruments that they gave to the students depended on the availability of teachers. So if I am a 9-year-old child in a school and I am involved in Wider Opportunities, I might be given a recorder, I might be given a violin, I might be given a clarinet. I have no choice, and also I am with 30 other children, so you know I can. It was patchy. I mean, it was sometimes it was very good, but sometimes it was very challenging because of the teachers were not necessarily trained in classroom management, and the children, you know, big numbers, and they all learnt for perhaps one term, and then nothing. So a great idea, but had challenges in implementing it.
El programa Wider Opportunities es como más amplias oportunidades. Era una buena idea. Lo que hacían era pagar de alguna manera, contratar a profesores de lo que llaman service musics, que bueno, puede ser del conservatorio, para ir a las escuelas, y los niños que estaban en estos programas pues podían recibir un violín, un clarinete o una grabadora y bueno, tener esta oportunidad, ¿no?, de aprender música, sobre todo música clásica, que era en lo que estaban entrenados, ¿no?, en lo que estaban educados estos músicos. Lo que pasa es que a lo mejor duraba un semestre y luego se acababa, y además había muchos niños en el aula y era un poco difícil realmente implementar los objetivos de este programa vía este tipo, ¿no?, bueno, con los medios que había y con estas estrategias, ¿no?, didácticas.
And yes, as I've mentioned, it was later replaced by what's called First Access, but the same idea. So at music in second level, there was a real problem also that, as I've mentioned, that nobody wanted to continue with music. So GCSE is the examination. Nobody wanted to do music. So in 2003, a big funding project was called Musical Futures. Have you heard of this one? Some of you, yeah. Musical Futures was aimed to reach the teenager, to change the way in which music was taught in secondary school, frankly. And how there were three projects. It's a set of ideas and approaches for personalizing music education. And it involves students in constructing projects and the curriculum. It develops students as peer leaders, it increases their self-esteem, they're at the centre of it, and it incorporates a range of learning styles, particularly informal learning and independent learning. it removes the teacher, really. And it was intended to improve music, the music, people who took music as a subject in school.
Este programa, otro programa llamado Futuros Musicales, Musical Futures, estaba promovido por una fundación, ya he olvidado el nombre que estaba ahí antes, pero bueno, el caso es que un poco en la línea de, bueno, de las nuevas, la educación basada en competencias, ¿no? Que hacía que el estudiante decidiera o influyera en el currículum, en los contenidos que iba a aprender, promovía mucho más el aprendizaje entre peers, entre compañeros, ¿no? Y se basaba un poco en esa edad de 11 a 19, una enseñanza, un aprendizaje mucho más tutorizado, individualizado para realmente llegar bueno, a mejorar esos niveles y esa intención, ¿no? de pasar un examen que se tiene ahí unas siglas, ¿no? Para que pues me imagino que es como el nivel de conservatorio, no sé, pero que demostraran ese conocimiento en música.
Okay, and there were 3 of these. One looked at approaches to informal learning, one looked at the whole curriculum, and one looked at extra curriculums outside the curriculum. And they had amazing results in motivation, apparently. I'll just fly through these because there's probably a lot of information here. Too much, maybe?
Because of time?
Yeah. The point here, my reason for including all of this information is to say that it was a radical approach, and still is. It's still in existence. The students work together in friendship groups. So my friend and me get together. We choose a piece of music, our own choice. We record it, and then we learn to play it. We use an approach that was used by rock musicians, popular musicians. So they, repeat, and play it. And then the idea is that through giving the power, our ownership to the students, it ignites their interest. And from there, they gradually get introduced to other music.
Lo interesante de este programa era que se le daba el poder al estudiante de elegir un poco la canción o el tema que iban a trabajar, lo trabajaban en grupo, en conjunto.
I'm just flicking through it.
She would like to see the website address.
Yes, of course. musicalfutures.org.
musicalfutures.org. musicalfutures.org. Entonces, bueno, era bastante innovador en ese sentido y un poco la didáctica era pues la de los músicos de rock y de eso, pues en grupo tocaban y tocaban hasta que aprendían y ensayaban la pieza, y a partir de ese conocimiento, a partir de ese primer tema, pues ya iban a otras músicas, ¿no? A aprender otras músicas, otros estilos quizá.
Okay, I'm going to skip this because it's just very quickly to say that it's a success. It's seen as a success.
Está presente y parece que sí que ha tenido el éxito que los anteriores programas no han tenido, ¿no?
And now, today, we have a new national plan which brings everybody together. The local authorities, the schools, the Arts Council, and private music teachers. And they have all come together to be responsible for music. It is partnership. And I think this could be very exciting because it's no longer just classical musicians looking with their information, but the schools are also very powerful. I think this could be very exciting. Yeah, Music Hub, exactly. Music Hub. I'm glad you asked that question. A Music Hub is the country has now been divided into 123 centres or hubs where music, everybody is together in a centre, and they are they get money from the Arts Council, and they have to decide where to send it, where to put the money. Very powerful and huge responsibility, but they must work with the schools, and the schools must say to them, no, I don't want children to learn the violin for one term. I want them to learn music of their culture, or they have a decision, so there's accountability. I think that's an important word. They must be accountable to the schools, and this is another big recent change. Just last year, in fact.
Bueno, en este hay un nuevo plan nacional desde el 2012 que realmente pone en partenariado, en consorcio a las escuelas, los músicos particulares y oficiales, los Councils of Arts, los consejos de arte o los hubs. Estos son como una asociación, una división administrativa y que es financiado para entrar en este programa y tal, pero tienen que ponerse totalmente de acuerdo con los colegios para decidir si quieren durante un curso estudiar violín nada más o quieren un otro enfoque más general, algo que tenga objetivos medibles y resultados medibles, como nos suelen pedir ahora cada vez más en los proyectos, ¿no?
So, for example, the local music services continue to be the big partner, and so this is a challenge because they are classically trained, as I said. So most recently, they discovered that in schools things are not so good, that the hubs are still working like before, like the expert classical musicians. And so there was low expectation in the school, not enough enjoyment with the children. Nobody really expected it to work, and the same situation. So there are lots of challenges, but I think that this will change the culture in music education, and it will emphasize non-classical music interventions. So there will be room for lots of traditional music.
Lo que lastra, digamos, los aspectos innovadores en estos programas y que quieren un poco trascender este lastre de estar tan sesgados hacia la música clásica, es que precisamente la preparación y el interés de los expertos, en este caso, está basada y está centrada en la música clásica, ¿no? Entonces, el reto, entonces, claro, se dan una serie de desventajas, ¿no? Que no tienen los chicos no se sienten motivados, ¿no? No se lo pasan tan bien, no tocan todo lo que quisieran. Y al final las cifras nos dan nos dicen que los estudiantes no cantan tan bien como el programa Sing Up parecía prepararles o quería prepararles, y no tienen esa preparación musical que se buscaba a partir de estos programas. Pues eran una serie de retos que Mari dice que los programas son adecuados quizá, pero están lastrados por esto que decimos, ¿no?
Preguntarle si queda mucho tiempo, hay que resumir ya.
She's aware about the time.
Oh, right. Is it finished?
Claro, estamos because of translation is double. But
yes, of course. My questions finally: how do we develop to deliver more than conservatoire style with a core repertoire? How do we change the musician's mindset when they go to schools. That's the first one. And also there are reports of very few examples of everything like hip-hop, digital, folk or ethnic world music. How can we really claim that our music education embraces cultural diversity? Because this is the rhetoric, but actually the research is showing that it isn't so diverse. And this is a challenge for us. And then the relationship between access
Ahora.
and quality. And that's, I think I'll finish there.
Entonces, estas son las consideraciones finales, ¿de acuerdo? Es, en primer lugar, cómo cambiar la mentalidad de estos expertos en música que son los responsables, ¿no?, de enseñar música en las escuelas, pero están totalmente centrados y enfocados en la música clásica y música de cámara. ¿Cómo se llega a implementar y cómo más ejemplos, por ejemplo, de educación musical basada en músicas como el hip hop o la música digital o la música tradicional, étnica, porque realmente esto es lo que hay en el papel, pero cuando investigan un poco pues se dan cuenta que no es así, esto no está ocurriendo, hay muy pocos ejemplos de este tipo de música. Y luego, pues, si hay universalmente hay una tensión entre el acceso y la cualidad y la calidad, o sea, quality music versus quality music education. Si conviene más hacer más músicos, digamos, con una base estándar o menos, o dedicar más a hacer músicos con un buen nivel, un gran nivel, ¿no? Y poner más el esfuerzo en esto, ¿no?
¿Prepararlos más como formadores o más como músicos?
Yeah? I want the next one. I'm nearly finished. This is my last slide. Here we go. And these are my final points, really. I think that's my last one.
Y ahora vienen sus
A summary. So, finally, it is the music isn't so important as the engaging with music. This is my conclusion, and I think it has something to do with the legacy and the heritage in England and the post-colonial confusion, which is my phrase, and so on.
Bueno, realmente lo que ocurre en Inglaterra es que importa mucho más el que los niños, los estudiantes se envuelvan con la música, se comprometan con la música, que qué tipo de músicas, si es tradicional, si es moderna, o sea, y en este caso hay una tradición hacia la música clásica, pues que viene un poco de como que una idea poscolonial, una confusión poscolonial de qué es música tradicional, ¿no? Y en este caso pues están muy sesgados, como decimos, muy basados en lo que es la música clásica y la música de cámara en Inglaterra.
Okay, I think I'll finish there.
Y con
Okay.
esto termina la intervención. Su intervención. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for translating. No, you're right. You're.
One question.
Yes.
We were not clear when you were talking at university. I have understood that your question is: should the students at university be musically prepared or prepared to be good music teachers? Is that the question, or is it something different?
You mean in this last one?
Yes, in your last point, university.
No, universally, like in general.
Universally. So I didn't know.
In general, yeah. But the teaching, the good quality teachers, which is where my job is to prepare the students to be good quality teachers. And because the emphasis a lot is on classical performance, because that's the tradition, it will be very difficult to do other things. That's the reality.
Es siempre un reto para los educadores de profesores de música para niños, y para jóvenes, para estas etapas que hemos visto. Es siempre un reto que salgan de esa concepción clásica, de tocar música clásica, música de cámara, porque está realmente instaurado así, ¿no? en el sistema y en la tradición musical. Aquí también.
Is it the same? Yeah,
No, la
yeah.
diferencia es que ha habido una época que con el tema de las especialidades...
Quizá, vosotros sois rompedores en ese sentido, ¿no? Realmente,
estamos volviendo atrás. Nosotros lo que ha sido 20 años,
quizá-
23 años de avance han sido una vuelta atrás con...
it's quite the same in Spain.
Yeah.
Although we are seeing here, we could think it's different because,
Yeah.
but they are pioneers.
Yeah, yeah,
pioneers.
yeah.
Nosotros, por ejemplo, en nuestros diseños curriculares del profesorado no tenemos ningún campo disciplinar que incluya la música popular.
Mm,
Y entonces ahí
Same
también
thing in
estamos
Argentina.
formando
Yeah.
docentes para la escolaridad de inicial, media y secundaria que no tienen formación en música popular.
Y es todo también basado en música clásica y música de cámara. No hay nuevas músicas, digamos.
Can I just say a point as well? Just on the,
Seguía siendo profesionales solo como la otra vez la separación, más que de lo popular.
one of the interesting points.
Lo popular es muy fuerte, pero siempre es intuitivo. Entonces, se trata de por ahí establecer, hacer talleres o extracurriculares, claro, música
It's
mediática,
very interesting what she says.
como para poder mejorar la
Popular
calidad del
music,
músico
it's
popular.
very important in Latin America, but it's
yeah.
very intuitive. It's not
Yes,
so
yes,
for
yes.
formal education.
Yes, this is a very important point. The formal, informal. This is the musical futures attempted to bring informal, the rock musicians, how they learn, bring it into the formal. And that has been very interesting. But for me, and with this group, I was trying to see, well, where is the evidence of the selection by the students of their music? Because it is based on the students' own choice of music. Where there is nobody knows, and that's also, I think, possibility for me to do some research, to say, well, what is the current tradition among our young people when they choose their own music? What do they choose? Do they choose, I don't know, rock music? Do they choose tradition? A folk song? Who knows? But no, there's nothing. There's no research on this.
Ahora estamos en un proyecto que el maestro Contreras estuvo en la presentación de crear un Instituto Nacional de Folclore, que hace 40 años existía y no existió más. Sí, es una cuestión diferente, pero para la formación de ese músico popular.
Habéis entendido bien lo que Mary estaba planteando, ¿no? O sea, que a ella le ha inspirado mucho vuestras investigaciones porque, claro, no ve que haya una investigación en el Reino Unido que haya visto a partir de las elecciones propias de los estudiantes, ahora que han podido elegir qué música quieren aprender, pero nadie sabe, no están ahí las cifras de qué es lo que hay, ¿no? Y entonces a ella le interesa mucho conocer esto para saber si el público, en este caso los estudiantes, demanda la música tradicional o qué tipo de música demandan.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mari, por tu intervención. Nos cuesta mucho entender que Inglaterra, el National Curriculum de los años 70, de finales de los 70, fue tan abierto.
It's difficult for us to understand that within England, the national curriculum from the 70s, it was so open, so wide.
Yes, yes.
Eh,
Yes,
que
absolutely. Yeah.
Estamos en el 2014
And now in 200,
Yeah.
con problemas que ese National Curriculum solucionaba ya.
with some problems and some issues that the curriculum from the 70s could solve,
Yes,
could manage
yes.
with this.
Eh,
Yes.
Otra cuestión.
Well, it's political.
Yeah.
In England, it's the government. You know, every government changes, and amazing the power to change for no reason.
No. Otra cuestión.
Yeah.
De las 10 obras
Yeah.
clásicas,
From the 10 pieces.
Yes.
From
¿Qué?
from-
¿Qué espacio a la música contemporánea?
Yes. Anna Meredith is actually an interesting. They are all available on BBC. The 10 pieces. If you just Anna Meredith.
This is the only
The
contemporary
only
composer.
21st century,
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
10 pieces. We have Holst, who was at my university
Okay.
many years ago. Holst, oh, you know, I can't remember the others. John Adams,
Yes.
who's also maybe contemporary. Mozart, oh, you know, the usual suspects. Handel, I think. Mendelssohn, maybe with an English connection. So lots of others, Stravinsky. But isn't, you know, it's interesting that they have, it's very popular, very, very popular, and, you know, lots and lots of interest. Anyway, we can talk again, but I hope that has been of some interest to you to frame music education in England.
interesting.
I should also say that it's England. I couldn't do the whole UK, so it's just
Bueno,
England.
perdón cuando he dicho Reino Unido, efectivamente. Se centra en el caso de Inglaterra, ¿no?
De Inglaterra, sí.
Yeah.
Exactamente.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.